of this pledge, you're saying you won't help governments protect or perpetrate cyber attacks. Talk to us about why there is a need for such an accord.
I think our industry really needs to come together on a global basis to strengthen cybersecurity. We need to be principled as we do that. And there's fundamentally two principles that are part of this pledge. The first is that we will step up our work to protect every customer everywhere from these cyber attacks. And the second is that we won't help governments launch cyber attacks against innocent citizens or enterprises. And we'll use those as two North Stars, and there are a number of concrete steps we can and will take to make those effective.
So are governments asking you for help for them
Absolutely.
to perpetrate cyber attacks?
Oh, first of all, we get, most importantly, requests from governments every day to help defend against customers, and we are doing more in that space. In the world today, I think if your principles are unclear, you do run the risk that you'll be asked by governments to do things that you're going to look back at in hindsight and regret having done. And we've seen that over the last 15 or 20 years. And I think by being clear about what we will and will not do, we in effect give governments guidance so they don't have to ask us. They know where we stand.
So you've referred to this as the Digital Geneva Convention, yet Apple, Amazon, Twitter, Google, they're not signed up. Why not?
Well, I think we're going to see more companies sign up in the coming weeks and months. A lot of people have been very focused on a wide variety of privacy and security issues recently. We have 34 major companies with us today for this tech accord. And then what we are also doing is calling on governments to sign up for a digital Geneva Convention, in effect a new convention that would put new rules of the road in place so that governments understand that they can't attack civilians the way we're seeing in the world today.
Facebook has been in the spotlight for inadvertently allowing state actors to meddle in elections, in U.S. elections. Why should we think of this as any more than an empty promise or a marketing ploy?
Well, I first of all think that in the world today, it's important for companies to be principled. You can't be principled unless you define clearly and in a transparent way what you're going to do and what you're going to stand up for. And we're doing that. But I also believe that you're making a fundamentally important point. At the end of the day, people should not judge us by our words alone. They should judge us by our deeds. This gives people a clear standard against which they can judge us. I think we should welcome that. And now it's up to us to prove every day that we can live up to this pledge.
Facebook also, I'm sure as you well know, also under fire for data privacy. And I'm curious where you think Facebook went wrong and whether you think more regulation is necessary in big tech, since that could ultimately impact Microsoft as well.
Well, I think it's the broader question that is the most important. It's a question for all of us. We at Microsoft called for national comprehensive privacy legislation. We did that in 2005, 13 years ago. This whole privacy issue does not get better with age. We do need to come together as a country, in our view, and we will benefit from having good laws in place. We'll benefit because there'll be a consensus nationally about what companies should do, and we'll benefit because that, I believe, can play an important role in sustaining the trust and confidence of the public.
You've also announced a new Defending Democracy program to help prevent campaigns from being hacked, to defend against disinformation, misinformation. Can you give us some specifics about how you intend to do that? Are you working with particular campaigns or particular states, or working to secure voting machines, for example, ahead of the midterm elections?
The answer is basically going to be yes to all of that. We have identified 4 specific areas on which we want to focus with this new Defending Democracy project. The first is protecting candidates and campaigns from hacking. The second is protecting voters and voting from tampering or hacking. The third is really supporting measures to ensure integrity in political advertising, including on social media platforms, one of the things the Honest Ads Act will do. And the last is really, in some ways, the hardest. It's the job we all need to do to try to address the willful disinformation campaigns we're seeing even from foreign sources. And so in some of these areas, we have fast steps that we can take right away. In other areas, I think we have a lot of hard work ahead of us, but we need to get started.
So also, last quick question. You're announcing a new micro device product, a teeny tiny little IoT product that is secured end to end, could be in anything from toys to remote controls, works with AWS, works with Google Cloud. What are the dangers here that you're trying to protect against?
Well, this, I believe, is a fundamentally important problem for the country and the world, because this year there will be shipped in the world 9 billion of these small chips that increasingly are going into toys, refrigerators, thermostats, certainly in cars and the like, and they're all going to be connected. And if they're connected without being protected, then we have a much bigger cybersecurity problem than we do today. What we launched yesterday here in San Francisco is a new offering. We call it Azure Sphere, and with a new and more powerful and more secure hardware chip, and a new, more secure operating system, and a new security cloud service, we really, for the first time, have a holistic solution.